Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and on today's video, I pulled out the Savage Drive by Airis Savage. Haven't used this in a while, so here's a really cool excuse to bring it out. I thought, let's see how it sounds like when we pair it up against 4 different amp heads to compare the difference, to see how they react to it, see if there is any major huge difference, or if this pedal is really overpowering. So, if you aren't a tech head and just want to kind of see what this video is about, it's pretty much listen to it and see which one you like the best. If you are a tech head and a tech nerd like what I am, how I ran it was, I got my dry tracks running in the computer, I reamping it through each one of them dry, via the Savage Drive of course, and that's it. So we've got the same performance running through each of the different amp heads to see. This isn't going to be a blind test. I'm going to bring up on the screen the exact settings that I've got for all the amps so you can see as they go along, and you can just pick which one is the best one. Which one, not so much the best one, but what you think suits you the best. Or the worst, whatever. Get what out of these videos whatever you want, that's fine. And just before I move on to the actual jam part so you can hear it, I'm going to be cutting in and out of each different take, but because I reamped it, I don't need to perform. But I am going to perform. I'm still going to play guitar along with it for visual effects, but I will be not pretending, I'm not going to be playing, but what I'm playing visually isn't going to be what you're hearing because they're already done. It's already been captured and it's all finalized, it's all fine. So if you see me having a little bit note out and go, oh, I'm not sure about that, you'll be correct because I am just playing along. I'm miming, just like in a film clip. That is it. It is purely for your visual benefit. That is all. And it's cool for me because I just get to jam along and have fun anyway. So, cue the cute little cartoon intro. Let's run through all these different amps, cutting them in and out at certain intervals. And yeah, we'll have a chat about it after that. So now we've heard the 4 different amp heads up against, not up against, it wasn't a competition, it wasn't like it was a sporting event someone had to win, but paired up with the Savage Drive. So bring that in for you to see, hopefully that's focusing. Savage Drive, it's a beast of a pedal. I really feel like the best way to describe it is it's like a super strong spice that you're adding into a dish that kind of is overbearing. Not in a bad way, but it overbears a lot of the individual characteristics that these amps normally hold for themselves, which I found very interesting. I thought they would have been a little bit more, I thought the amp would have played more of a part in its own individuality, which I don't think it did. Some interesting things though I came across while doing this. So firstly, ENGL was fine, no problems there. The Victory Kraken was fine, no real problems there. Orange Dark Terror, no real problem there. The biggest standout, I would say, for the better or worse, I don't know, but the biggest standout anyway was actually the Harley Benton Mighty 15 here. So the very first standout that I had was, that was the loudest out of these 4, by far. Like absolutely by far. I had to turn that one down the most. So I wouldn't have picked that. I wouldn't have picked that one to be the loudest out of all of them. And the other thing that I found fascinating was the Savage Drive brought the Mighty 15th alive the most, by far. So I'm going to quickly pause myself. So I'm going to be like a freeze frame. Actually, I will do something like that. So you can hear, I just did a quick capture of the Harley Benton playing with me turning this just on and off in just intervals in whatever, pretty much every 4th bar or something along those lines. So have a quick listen to it and see what you think, because it is, best way to describe it is fucking bananas, just bananas. So, check it out. So you see what I mean? How it just goes from being absolutely unusable, and that's not pushing the amp the most. That was the best settings I had with the current settings that were already put into this Savage Drive. So I had to dial that back to sound like that because it already had enough boost coming from this. That was the only way I could get it to sound, not the only way, that's the best way I felt on how to get the sound to how we heard it in the final mix. It was bananas. It went from being practically unusable, and then we engaged the pedal, and it was on the same part as all the rest of the amp heads. Would never have thought that. So, if anything, science has brought us something fascinating to the table, which I think is not only very, very cool, but something to keep in mind when you're dealing with other chains and how you link them up and how far you want to push them, and never underestimate the power of a boost pedal, because, you know, they do spectacular as just a prime example alone. I could have done a video just on that alone, but I didn't know it was going to happen until I did it. So there you have it. So definitely keen for your thoughts on how you felt about all different ones, if you had any standouts or stand downs. And yeah, it wasn't a blind test, so it wasn't a case of, you know, could you pick it? No. But yeah, any ones that you felt resonated most with you and which ones didn't. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this. It was lots of fun putting together. It was a bit of work, you know, reamping and then going through my 2 notes here. And the cab that I used, sorry, for any tech nerds out there, was the Audio Coffees cab out of one of their Roman packs that I bought that I love. So yeah, just a reminder, they were all exactly the same. So this was the same, the performances was all the same, and the cabinet was the same. The only thing that we changed out was the amp heads. So, once again, thank you very much for joining me in this video, and I really look forward to chatting with you again next time. Until then, stay safe.